Hey guys, welcome back to releasethecraftin. Priscilla here for day 27 of hashtag Poevember 24. That's Poevember, the Edgar Allan Poe November challenge that I've been doing all month, and we're winding down. We're on the last couple of days here, and the prompt for today is cloud. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I did this one absolutely last. This is the last thing I made in all of my makes for the entire month, because for whatever reason, when I was typing up the prompts, a little tippity tap away, I was like, you're so clever and so smart and so cool with all of your thoughts and ideas. And then when I got down to Annabelle, I realized that I had to deal with the fact that Poe uses a lot of the same themes across all of his works, and a lot of the same imagery is used across all of his works. And then I was like, well, dang, now you gotta really dig to find stuff to pull out of here, because there's not a lot of visual imagery in this poem. It's basically just like an ode to Annabelle Lee. So that made it difficult. So I had to get really creative with how I was going to put the words together for this section in particular. But for whatever reason, in my great moment of genius, I was like, cloud, that's different and unique and unusual, and you've never done anything like that, and that won't pose any problems whatsoever, which is the greatest lie that I have ever told myself ever, okay, for starters. Because when I finally got down to doing it, I did the wings prompt, like, no problem. And then I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do for love. Here's what I'm going to do for maiden. Here's what I'm going to do for statue. And then I just kept staring at cloud, and I was like, how in the hell are you going to make clouds goth? And so I started to, dig through all my stuff, all my books and things, to be like, here, you can just, color over, a painting of clouds or something and make it, gothic looking. And I could have done that if I could have found an image of clouds in my stash. I do not have that many books in my stash, so I did not have that. So then I was like, okay, how else can you make clouds gothic? And I didn't know. So yeah, I did it last, and by the time I got done doing the other prompts, I had a vague idea of making lacy clouds with lace. Obviously, that's how you would make lacy clouds. But I didn't really have a clear thought on that, so I was like, okay, so I sketched up some little cloud templates and was like, all right. And then I decided to make a big piece for this one because I hadn't made anything large this entire time. So I was like, wouldn't it be fun if you made a really big piece to go with these really big clouds that you've made? And then I was like, okay. So an idea started to slowly come together, and I started to get opinions on things, and I was like, all right, we're just gonna try it. We're just gonna go for it, see what happens, and if we hate it, we hate it. If we don't, we don't. And with much supervision, because you guys can see Smokey made his annual appearance, I managed to put together these very rough-looking clouds. I don't think these are my best clouds I've ever drawn. I've been drawing them since I was a child, and clearly I've only learned one shape. But I decided to put them together and attach some lace to them. And I'm just going to use a glue stick to hold the lace in place so that I can stitch it down so that they're extra fancy. But go with me on this one. This was such an adventure in what's actually, what you're capable of, and what you can pull off convincingly. And I'm not 100% convinced I pulled it off, but I feel like I did the thing. And I feel like I did it pretty decently, considering that I made blood red lacy clouds for the vibes. I don't know what the vibes are. Buckets of rain falling from the sky that are actually blood. Something like that. Because that's all I think about when I look at these clouds. And I'm like, why did you make them red? You could have made every other thing on the page red except for the clouds, but for some reason you did blood red clouds, so now it's raining buckets of blood, and that's all I can think about. Honestly, that's not the idea I had here, because I found this girl for my stage and screen kit, and I was like, oh, she'd make a perfect Annabelle Lee. So that's part of the reason I was like, let's make something really big, because she was very tall, and I didn't want to chop up her dress because it's really pretty. This is actually from an old production of Romeo and Juliet, so this was the dress that Juliet was wearing, and I was like, it's beautiful. Chef's kiss. but like she cast such a great silhouette among those clouds that I was like, okay, so there's Annabelle Lee, maybe like hanging out in this macabre alternate universe of the heavens. And then there's a line from the poem, "We loved with the love that was more than love," tying it all together, making the effect come across. And then I wanted to add like the rainy day effect. So the background paper is actually a spider web that has like little drops of water on it, which is also perfect. So then spiders became the unofficial theme of the page because the background paper on the other side is also spiders. And then I was like, okay, but we did clouds, but we need something else a little bit extra. So I have this like drippy ring die cut that was sent to me. So I managed to pull up our Annabelle Lee before she like finally stuck down, and stuck these like nice little pops of silver, which I think really sets it off. But I wanted that to be like her maybe like her halo in heaven, because that's in the poem. And I was like, here's the ideas that are in my brain, and then I added them to the quote as well, because it was a little bit of extra like drippy goodness. But then I wasn't just satisfied with that. I was like, okay, like you did the thing, you checked off all the boxes, but what else? And the what else came in the form of adding like some foliage to it, because for some reason she just needed some foliage to like set it off a little bit more and give it a little extra pop. And I'm actually really happy with that, because I think it looks really good. I think it adds to the like ethereal maiden nature of Annabelle Lee in the poem and in my brain as I have been crafting along with this. So yeah, that's what I made. I made a giant pocket page that'll probably get like tabbed into a journal. And then of course I could not add a raven, so we ended up squeezing a raven into this one. And I felt like the raven sort of faded a bit into the background too much, so I decided to go back through with some of that red wax and add a little pop of color there to bring it forward, and then the gold wax to bring it even more forward for the raven in itself. I brought the flowers forward with the red wax, that's what I meant. But yeah, I think it comes out really great. The raven now matches Annabelle Lee. The whole thing works together in concert, I think, really well. And although it is a wildly out of place thing, and like it took me a lot to sort of conceptualize what to do, I'm really happy with how it came out. I think it does the thing. And then, like, we got the X-ray skeleton with the rings on the fingers, sort of the love that is lost. We got some pockets and tuck spaces. So yeah. That's my make for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Come back tomorrow, see what we do for day 28. Follow the hashtag Poevember24, and I'll catch you guys next time. I appreciate your faces. Happy crafting. Bye.